An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Stafford is going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down. On 1st down, Logan. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down. Hill on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
Go! Squeeze, double.
And they are going for it. Here's Hill. That's to his running back, complete. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory.
Here we go.
So a moment to catch our collective breath after the 4th down conversion. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Look at me. Go now.
They give the Chubb out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. They run it again with Chubb. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
We've seen this offense go for it on 4th down already on this drive. I wonder if they'll go for it again.
They certainly wouldn't rule it out with these guys. Seibert able to knock this one through. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Watson now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Here we go again.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Ravens on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Watson from the gun, he'll throw. And that is incomplete. I want to go back to something you said in the first quarter about winning.
Is it a positive?
It is a positive.
Okay.
About winning the turnover battle. As a visiting team, as an underdog, you were right. They've done just that, and look where it's gotten them.
It's part of the formula. When you go on the road, as you mentioned, being an underdog, winning the turnover battle is a big key, and this one's playing out in this one.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They will indeed snap it to Watson. This will be caught by Brown. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
Let's go. 30 base.
He's tired of you. He's tired of us.
Shoot.
He'll get this one complete to Davis.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Okay, ready? 52's the 61. Matchbox lights.
Watch the eye. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there.
Let's go.
On the carry, it's Chubb. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Check that. We're on Mike 52 right here. Mike 52. Here we go.
You draw quarters.
Here we go.
Hey, Sam on. Get it.
Check that.
And again, it's Chubb.
Check. Lucky.
He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
You better be ready. Don't be scared of it. SOS.
On the ground, it's Chubb. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. Now, there's also a flag to go with it. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Now a give right side. It's Logan. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead.
Where's 52?
Here's Hill. He's going to go up top for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. Seibert's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So his second field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Watson. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Greedy Williams picks it off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Browns drive about to get started. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Hey, Charlie.
Stafford going to throw it. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Check 3.
Now it's Stafford. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild. And at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Good set. UAT. 50,
Mike 50, huh? Here we go. Switch.
Now Watson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the 2nd quarter, he may very well have run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Back to throw. He completes this into the hands of Miller. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Watson, he is going to find Hill here. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill with time running out as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. Tucker now to add the point after. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk-reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that.
Go now. 70, Indy.
Cut.
Now Hill. Oh, and you can forget overtime. This is going to be a safety in the final minute of the game. Oh, my. And I don't know that I have ever seen a tie game decided in the final seconds because of a safety.
It's just an absolute disaster, Brandon. You're thinking you're going to at least get yourself to overtime. But how about this defense? They said, we're going to take matters into our own hands, and this will be an unbelievable victory if it holds up.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 21. And his guy